dive on in rather. So we're going to start off. We have a brand new social space, the Hall of Champions, that we're going to go ahead and check on out. Kelsey, Kelsey's the one who's responsible for taking us through that. So shall you return to the throne world, obviously, and dive on in?
Bring me your tithes.
Perfect, excellent. That's right. There are tithes to be gathered. Now, while we're on the way, Tom, the Hall of Champions is a brand new social space here in Destiny 2. Where is this? Where are we going to, where's this place been? Why are we checking it out now?
So Shaxx has carved out just a little bit of the backstage of the tower.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a few little fun nods here to Destiny history.
Yep. All right, we're looking at it now on screen.
Yeah, we've got Kelsey on screen here. We got SweepyBot, and this is actually the lead up to the Hall of Champions.
This is where they keep it all the time.
Yeah, this is where, there's an off season for a lot of the holiday events.
Yeah, a little pile of snow.
And yeah, there's a little snow there. There's some greenery.
This is interesting. All right, so we found a bit of the storage room to a degree. So he's carved out space maybe that has been hiding in plain view potentially for other sweeper bots or red jacks around the tower.
And there's some stuff from the Onslaught, this ADU.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Some little
Noah put it here himself.
No, and all the space
So is this going to be like a different queue than like the tower? Like you have to queue do you know what I mean? Like you queue into like the tower, then you have like all the other people who went to the tower and stuff, like all the other players. So you don't queue into the tower and you can just go to this area. Like this is a whole different area. I'm not sure.
If we just take a
maybe they'll tell us.
There we go. Here's the Champions Hall.
The Hall of Champions. All right, so this is the Hall of Champions.
And just like Zur kind of carved out Eternity for the 30th anniversary, Shaxx has kind of set this space aside for us and into the light where all your armor, your weapons, your rewards, this is going to be your home base for Into the Light.
Excellent. Awesome. All right, well, Kelsey, can you go ahead and show us a little bit? We're going to go ahead and walk up here. We see a whole bevy of chests, actually. Let's go ahead and start there. What are we looking at, and how do we go ahead and start cracking these open, rather?
Yeah, so as you can see, this space is just full of chests. As you can see here, all the class icons on the floor, a little bit like 30th. You can come here to redeem this currency, trophies of bravery, that you're going to earn from completing Onslaught and from playing the broad game in Destiny. So all of these trophies here, if you progress your hype with Shaxx, you'll be able to spend them here at all these chests to get a really cool set of armor. I can pull open my character so you can see what that looks like on the Hunter.
That's right. Also, too, so for the folks at home, we went ahead and
I do love the armor.
Online, but as a quick reminder, this is actually an armor set that's inspired by year one of Destiny 2. Tom, this is the parade armor set, I believe, is what we're referring to it as.
So it's the
that armor does look
D2
good.
year one parade armor.
That's right. Yeah.
You had it in Homecoming. It's kind of a classic set. We're again full circle here with we were beginning the Destiny 2 saga there, and now we're kind of ending the fight here. We're getting ready to take the fight to the Witness, and Shaxx has got this iconic set of armor. We're calling it the Parade Armor 2.0.
Yeah.
And everyone can earn it. It's available to all players.
Excellent.
And there's some other cosmetics we can show off here that kind of play with it too.
Very nice. And also too, for folks out there, we have the Hunter here. Actually, Kelsey, can we check out the armor set one more time?
Yeah.
For the folks at home. Also too, so this is an up close and personal look, obviously, at this armor set, which will be available to everyone that goes ahead and jumps into the Light. Also too, there's a Titan set and a Warlock set, we should also say. That you can go ahead and see in the key art as well, but obviously this will be arriving on April 9th, so you'll get a chance to go ahead and go hands-on. But yeah, it's looking fresh, honestly. I'm not too... I
like it. I really do like the armor set.
Oh boy,
it's really interesting, setting all these, working on all this stuff because we were kind of waiting to finally see that set, and finally being able to equip it in game was just such a cool experience.
Yeah, honestly. All right, so we're obviously equipped. We've got an armor set that we're going to go ahead and be chasing down, but we're now hanging out with Shaxx, and is that our site over there as well?
Yes, that is our site. And one last chest I want to point out here.
Oh, please.
This one is going to be your hub for just grinding out weapons. So those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shaxx, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll be able to get all your guns here. And this one here is we're bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. So if you need to catch up on your power level to make sure that you're ready to hop right in, that's something you can do as well.
Sweet. That's right. And honestly, it's again, as a reminder, this is available to all players. And so if you've got any friends that maybe aren't quite at that powerful cap, also too, actually, just double check. This will bring folks up to the powerful cap, was it?
Powerful, not pinnacle.
That's right. Okay, perfect. All right. So So for your friends that want to go ahead and dive in right alongside you, even if they maybe haven't played, very much recently, they got a chance to go ahead and just catch right up. They'll be ready. Be ready for day one. That's right. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and talk to Shax actually as a starting point. So how are we going to be working with Shax? Obviously, he's opened up his den of antiquities to us, but Kelsey, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we need to pull out all the stops in defeating the witness. So Shax has opened up his brave arsenal for us. And as you can see, Shax is really like the shining star of this area. I've been kind of panning by all these hollow Shaxes that line the space, which I'll be happy to talk about in a moment.
Oh yes.
But yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he's got. So over the course of Into the Light, as you earn reputation with him, you're going to be able to progress and get all this cool stuff. One thing in particular I want to point out.
Interesting.
This key.
Super black key.
Is that what I'm seeing over there, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder where that goes.
So maybe people that are D1 vets potentially from back in the day might remember this. Is this what's this symbiote we're looking back here?
Yeah, right now it's pretty powerful. It's in containment, but if you keep playing Into the Light, you'll be able to get access to the keys you need to unlock this.
Okay.
Get access to the shader.
Oh, that's so good. All right. So obviously, too, yes. As a reminder,
the shader.
So one of the ultimate rewards available through this will indeed be the return of the super black shader. It's back. Finally, it's back. There's probably some song lyrics to go along with that. I couldn't tell you what they are, but I will say to the Destiny Fashion subreddit, we are prepared for you to go ahead and take this on wholesale. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and just equip super black and give it a look really quickly. Oh man. Chat, how do you feel? Come on. It does not get much better than that.
I do like it. Super black, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
So Shax is obviously going to be there to help us get
using
rewards. In
that.
addition to the Brave Arsenal and the armor, Super Black is waiting for us. So tell us a little bit about our site as well, actually. He's I'm not sure if many people in the chat know about him. He's usually lived in lore entries, but let's go ahead and get a look and see what we're going to be working with him on.
Yeah. So our site has a lot of quests for us, and we did some pretty interesting things, in my opinion, with some of the quests you can pick up from our site. They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very fun puns that we had a lot of fun working on. So for every single weapon that we're going to be talking about today, there's a corresponding quest. Once you've completed the quest for that weapon, you're going to be able to unlock access to that weapon, dropping as rewards. But there's two other really cool things that we can talk about there. One,
wait, what's sniper? Is that sniper?
These special limited edition appearances for the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah.
So completing these quests, you're going to get a guaranteed, curated copy of these limited edition weapons.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy to ship. They look rad. And you'll unlock attunement, which is something
I already got a pretty good Fall Green team.
So let's take a look at some of these.
So here's a look, of course. Obviously, for the folks at home, they may remember this one. I get a hunch that chat obviously is getting a little excited, but I know it's so exciting. The mountaintop has returned.
I knew it. I knew they were going to change the perks.
Obviously, Chris, we're going to dive in more with the whole Brave Arsenal in a little bit, but this is, I believe she touched on the limited edition versions of these, the ornaments that exist on there. Can you tell us a little bit about what the limited edition variants of these are that are available over the course of Into the Light?
Sure, yeah. So the Brave Arsenal weapons will drop from Onslaught, and we're talking a little bit about attunement and whatnot here. There is a low chance that one will drop as a limited edition variant.
Hold on, do I still have my mount top?
A super shiny ornament that's locked to that weapon.
Yeah.
So its transit here is the limited edition variant. These are kind of exotic levels of fancy.
Yeah, so they're going to have random perks, like I thought.
Got it.
The ornaments will only be available up until the final shape launches.
Yeah.
Or the limited edition variants.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's going to come with Eager Egg? Never mind, I might have to go for Fire.
I was there version with the limited edition on there, but other than that, after the final shape launches, people will still be able to get these weapons and keep farming for them.
Yeah, there's they have super cool visuals. They drop with
Hammerhead.
in both trait columns.
Okay, I have to go for Hammerhead too.
Differences. So if you've got a great base weapon, you don't need to go and get
Just cosmetic.
Cosmetic only.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Absolutely. All right, we're going to be able to test these out in a little bit. So
So if the Hammerhead is coming back,
there's a taste of just a
other
few.
Black Armory
Love you get a chance
weapons
to go ahead
have
and
to
check
be
it out.
coming back,
But
right?
Also, too, for the folks that want to go ahead and farm these rolls out. Kelsey, I believe you just mentioned attunement. Can you tell us a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yes, I'd love to. So one cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at our site, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon you really want to drop. You can bend luck in your favor and make it more likely for that weapon to appear. So for example, I can do that now. Let's do Recluse.
Yeah.
So
Chat seems to be pretty hyped on Recluse.
So if you're looking around, you'll see there's all of these Shaxes everywhere, which we just had an absolute blast working with and coming up with. And once you've unlocked attunement, you can just freely do this at any time. You can change your attunement any time. You can choose which weapon has a higher chance of dropping. So I'm going to do that now. Okay.
There we go.
Got our thumbs up. We're good.
The affirmation from Shax never hurts.
Yeah, I can always use more affirmations from.
So
hurts,
now,
honestly.
now when you
Shouts
open
them
the chest,
very
you have
effectively,
more of
I
a
might
chance to get recluse.
Yes.
I get it.
So yeah, at any point, you can just visit another one. I could even just go and, unattune and reattune to my heart's content. Just once you've unlocked it, you can do that at any time. So yeah, pick your favorites that you want to chase, and you'll have a much higher chance of getting them.
Excellent. All right. Obviously, the Hall of Champions has a lot in store. There's even more, obviously, chat than is even here, but we see what you're saying in chat. I feel the electricity in the air. I should also note one more thing. You should all go out and farm with impunity to go ahead and get the rolls you want, ultimately, because with the arrival of the final shape, we'll indeed be adding 100 more vault slots. So go out there, grab the rolls, grab 27.
Yes!
Until you get a chance to Google which one has a god roll.
Oh, still won't have any space though.
With the arrival of the final shape, you'll be getting 100 more vault slots. So go ahead and dive on
Yes.
whatever you want to go ahead and chase.
I'm at.
Excellent. All right.
All my characters are like basically full. Okay, I have 2 slots on my kinetic weapon and 1 slot on my power ammo, and my vote is at 597.
Go ahead and dive on in and look at the Brave Arsenal. Now,
I need the vault space, so yes. I mean, I'm gonna clean it out, even though it's at 597 right now, and most of my characters are almost full. I'm gonna clean it up. So don't call Dado on me. All right, we'll fix it.
Chris, obviously you were intrinsically involved with kind of setting this whole thing up, with building the Brave Arsenal, deciding what was out there. Can you tell us a little bit about, how you guys landed on this iconic set of Destiny weapons for Into the Light?
Yeah, and we all have our own favorite weapons internally, and wanted to make sure that we delivered on a ton of nostalgia for the whole Destiny 2 weapon set.
Yeah.
If you look on Reddit or Twitter, there are hundreds of weapons that these could be.
Yeah.
Had to narrow it down to 12. It's like we couldn't reasonably fit any more into the activity.
Yeah.
We couldn't necessarily afford to
Blast
make many more than
furnace.
that. So it's
Please tell me we're getting the hand cannon back. I just want the hand cannon and blast furnace. That was good. Auto rifle, but I don't think
For
we can.
those who have been terrorized by Blast Furnace and the Crucible, it's back now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tom, let's go ahead and just kind of walk through these. Let's go ahead and take us at a hung jury I see next as well.
Sure, I can just, do you want me to
I'll
just
start with the
mouse
blast.
over them here?
Is that a new perk?
Blast Furnace, Hung Jury,
Jury returns as well.
Session.
For anyone that hasn't had a
Succession.
chance to dive into Deep Stone Crypt, they can get their hands on a raid weapon as well.
Yeah, I should just touch on Succession. And
Yeah, please.
Forbearance in there as well. But these are fairly recent weapons, but they are, by default, you have to own the release that those raids came out in. So you have to own Beyond Light if you want to get Succession. You have to own Witch Queen if you want to get Forbearance.
Yeah.
The Onslaught versions of these weapons, or the Brave Arsenal versions, are available to all players. So you get a taste of what, the raw power of a raid weapon.
Yeah, which honestly, once you get Succession in your hands, suddenly everything feels so alive. It's like a ton of bricks. Let's see, we also have, there we go, Midnight Coup. For anyone who watched last week, thank you, Noah, as well, for going ahead and showing this off. Midnight Coup obviously makes an incredibly triumphant return. Actually, can you adjust it just so it shows the waves in the shader,
Yeah,
Tom?
it's gonna have pretty juice
That never gets old,
stats.
honestly.
He doesn't
Harkens
have
back
a
to
good
one of my
barrel
favorite
on it
times
for
in the Black
range.
Armory.
Or mag perk. So yeah,
All right, so we
it's
have the
good.
green ammo selection as well. Obviously, Recluse chat, you've all noticed that. We're just as happy that it's back as you are. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else we got in store there. Luna's
Luna's
Howl, of course.
Howl.
Actually, in particular with Luna's Howl, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but these weapons are not necessarily their previous state, just kind of held in stasis, but you guys have brought them forward with new perks. You've kind of done some redesigns as well. With Luna Howls in particular, you were mentioning that the Magnificent Howl perk has undergone a rework as well.
Yeah, in its
Yeah.
original shipping form, that was way too strong because it would let you two-tap a Guardian in PvP incredibly fast with the perk up.
Yeah.
180 RPM. So we've brought Luna's Howl forward as a 140 RPM hand cannon, but it retains the precision frame, so it's super easy to control the recoil.
Yeah.
We've also redesigned the Magnificent Howl perk, so that now lets you build up stacks of super bullets, a little bit reminiscent of Hawkmoon,
Yeah.
with precision final blows,
Yeah.
and then you can unleash those on Guardians to do massive damage. You can get a two-tap, but it requires a little bit more effort.
Okay,
And obviously
so
very
it's
strong
like
in PvE
a-
as well.
Yeah, you gotta bide your time and actually land those headshots.
Yeah.
I'm saying that mostly to myself in the mirror as I get upset for losing another round of try.
Okay, so it's mostly like Hawkmoon. It's like a legendary Hawkmoon now. But he said kill. See the number of precision final blows. Yeah, it's the difference between this and Hawkmoon. It's a couple, of course. It's legendary, and on this you have to get final blows. Hawkmoon, you don't have to get final blows. You just get precision hits. This is precision final blows. So is this gonna? I don't know if this is gonna, cause you can see the base stats right now, and it's the 140. I don't know if this is gonna like be able to compete. I see it has slide shot, but I don't know in that last. I don't know what other perks are in that last row. I don't know. We're gonna see how juicy this thing can get. I'm not gonna say it's terrible already, but the base stats don't look too good for 140.
Trials, but
So we had two hand cannons in this release, Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl.
That's right, yeah.
We assigned those to two different designers.
Yeah.
And there's a competition going on to see which one is more popular or is more effective. Oh, really? So
everyone out there in chat right now should let us know which one of those two ends up being their favorite.
Yep.
We have an actual debt to settle internally here by the sounds of it.
Probably
Which one do you think is going to win?
Midnight
Chris?
Coup.
I'm a little biased.
Little biased?
I have my Midnight Coup from the Leviathan raid still in my vault.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeply attached to that weapon.
Fair enough. All right.
We'll see.
Let's see here. All right. Also, Elsie's. So actually, here's a cool one as well.
Elsie's.
This is no longer the Stranger's rifle. This is Elsie's rifle now.
Yeah, Elsie's no longer a stranger.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really iconic Destiny 1 weapon that everyone who played through the Destiny 1 campaign would have acquired as
Yeah.
the Stranger's
Okay.
rifle. It's come forward with as close to its original feel as we could manage, updated for the Destiny 2 sandbox. It's got a ton of cool new traits. It's really very, very strong, high impact
Yeah.
pulse rifle. It's running the rewind rounds perk,
Oh, yeah.
which we made for Vault of Glass.
Yeah.
The D2 version, which harks back to the original perks on the Stranger's rifle in D1 as well.
This one already
Okay.
looks filthy, if I might say, with Zen Moment and Desperado on there. Like that's.
Desperado, yeah.
Did the room get colder, or what just happened? Honestly, and also too. So there's a new. Actually, as long as we're there, Tom, if you wouldn't mind actually opening that back up, there's a new origin trait. Pardon me, as well on these.
Final blow grants
that's
grenade
right. So
energy
yeah, the
when
indomitability
playing
trait,
a light
final blows
light
with
subclass.
a light subclass equipped grenade,
Melee energy
and
when
with a
playing a dark-
subclass
okay.
equipped melee energy.
Excellent.
So you get like that sort of duality, and they're reasonably strong perks.
Yeah, designed to keep you in the fight either way.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Tom, let's go ahead and keep checking out. What else do we have in store here? Forbearance as well. So this is, you were talking about obviously getting that taste of raid weapons.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and bring Forbearance forward also too into the light? Like, what did you add new perks into the pool, or what did you guys end up doing to kind of retain that classic feel?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we wanted it to feel like the Witch Queen version, but with slightly updated perks. perks. So the perk pools are fairly similar, but with a couple of spicy additions. So you'll notice disruption break left column on a waveframe grenade launcher, super strong.
Yeah.
It's not something that you get on the original version.
Disgusting.
Yeah, but it's got all of the old classics. And It's got the new Indomitability Origin trait instead of the Soul Drinker trait, and that's the same is true of any other weapons which had already shipped with Origin traits.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so good with that ornament on there. And of course, I think was that a limited edition ornament on the Recluse as well that you have over there?
Yep, there's the base
just
and
look at the.
Oh, let's take a look. There we go. That's, again, the ultimate.
I do like it.
As you go ahead and begin your showdown with the Witness, with the
These
arrival of the final
weapons
shape.
do look
Doesn't hurt
really
to have one of these
nice.
sitting on your hip, obviously, to go ahead and make a statement the moment you walk into the room.
Yeah, and this one is the curated version. The natural drops of the limited edition variants do have double
Per column? That's right. Yeah. Excellent. And of course,
We have-
our
you-
beloved Edge Transit.
You have
We could roll if we
to.
wanted to.
You
We're
have to
looking at
juice
the,
it up, like the
fan favorite
range,
weapons.
because
We wanted to bring forward
all
some of the
these
strongest weapons
submachine
from
guns
Forsaken.
have so
Yes,
much
like
range.
fond memories of
Like I
blasting away
try to
raid
play
bosses
with
with that
Recluse
transit.
original,
I'm
like
just kidding. There's amazing
can't
memes
compete.
associated with this weapon.
Yeah.
We actually brought it forward as one of the strongest heavy ammo grenade launchers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about that earlier. You're saying this one just hits like an absolute ton of bricks now.
Oh yeah, you can see some of the perks there. It's pretty wild.
I mean, honestly, yeah, this is already looking pretty good. This is one that would obviously find a home in my loadout. My Void one specifically, but I'm also picky about that kind of thing. All right, what else do we have here in this bottom row? The one and only, the Falling Guillotine. Now, actually, one thing that you mentioned as we were kind of talking about this earlier as well that was kind of cool
Eager
is
Edge.
this is also going to be probably the first sword outside of those available in Crota's End, I believe, that has sword logic on it as well.
Yeah, that's
Potential to
right.
roll with sword
It
logic.
seemed like a great opportunity to put that perk on something that isn't from that raid
Yeah.
a little bit earlier than we would normally put raid perks onto a new weapon.
Yeah. I'm also going to echo chat here for a second. Is that Eager Edge I see on there?
That is an Eager Edge, yeah.
Okay.
It'll only be the second sword outside of 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
You have access to
It
that.
would
trait.
basically just be the Slammer and then the Falling Guillotine
Yeah,
from...
that's right.
Yeah, that's actually exciting.
Yeah, this one has, like, the
what
classic
perk
Void
slot
perk,
is
combo
Eager
of
Edge on
Pulse Race,
Yeah.
destabilizing
Slammer?
rounds, sort of fun, and a lot of other strong.
It just doesn't get old, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're also joined by the Hammerhead. Hammerhead, honestly. It's as long as you're dipping your toe into the world of the Black Armory, this is obviously one that has to come forward.
Everyone's favorite legendary machine gun.
Yeah, seriously.
You can't go past it.
I
Just from the
hope
sound
you
of
can
the
get
rate of
the
fire,
hand
everything
cannon.
about it just is one that lives on in my memories and my dream journals, honestly, at this point. This is looking fantastic. All right, so we have a whole cast of characters. Now, Tom, you've got some loadouts set up. You've got some lost sectors that you're going to go ahead and start diving in on. I vote you go in there and start tearing it up. So we're already there. Okay, that's fantastic.
The classic Mountaintop Recluse combo here.
Yeah.
And there's some new stuff with Mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
That's right. So I'm so glad we got to that point this early because one of the things that was really cool about sort of seeing this development process behind the scenes was, obviously one of the core tenets was to make sure that you're retaining that classic feel of these weapons and kind of what made them so great to begin with. But you've kind of done some redesigns and expanded even just on the loot pool, or pardon me, on the perk pool rather. How did you guys kind of go about the process of sort of rebuilding these weapons for this modern era of Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit kill even with the direct hit in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So we've reduced that a little bit. But we also saw how excited people were for the Danger Zone rocket launcher perk, launching you into the air. So we've made that part of the base behavior of the new micro missile frame grenade launcher intrinsic. So you do super low self-damage and give yourself a massive physics impulse.
Yeah. The Team Fortress 2 soldier mains are just suddenly dusting off their rocket launchers in real time right now, obviously. So obviously, too, is going ahead and adding just not only to the perk pool, but kind of the intrinsic feel of these weapons. Were there any others in particular when you guys were working on them where you're like, yes, this is how this change needs to go? Like obviously, Magnificent Howl got to change, but is there anything else in that pool that feels like it was really kind of a cool leap forward for these weapons?
I think Blast Furnace is a good example because the Black Armory version rolled with scopes, which like everyone would just pick the best scope. Like internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA me,
Yeah.
scope was like by far the best. Really, really clean.
Yeah.
And with the changes to damage fall off on weapons, zoom doesn't matter that much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So it comes pre-equipped with that scope geometry, but it can roll barrels instead. So you get all the benefits of stats.
Oh, awesome.
Stats are already pretty juiced.
Yeah.
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also, too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So these
Okay.
weapons will retroactively be enhanceable when the final shape comes out. So any
Okay.
drops that you get during this initial period, you'll be able to enhance then.
Excellent. Okay. So you want to
Okay.
make sure to really hold on to those god rolls that Light.gg went ahead and told you about. Yeah. All right. So Tom, you've swapped your loadout now. Is this blast furnace we see you were?
Yeah, you were just talking about blast furnace, so I thought I'd hop over to it.
It's thematic. Yeah.
Nice and smooth, like it always was.
Kelsey, actually, too, on your side, obviously having this new tapestry of rewards to work with has been pretty exciting. As you kind of went ahead and sort of hatched your plans of how players would go about getting these, kind of what role did these weapons play, I guess, in the overall reward structure?
Yeah, of course. So we wanted the rewards of this release to be all about the weapons.
Yeah.
Shining stars, they're awesome. So I saw people were asking a little bit about what we're going to be getting from Onslaught.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chests in there, and every single chest has a weapon in it, and all of those chests can react to attunement. So if you attune to a weapon, anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So
Excellent.
every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are 2 chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep the ADU alive throughout the entirety of Onslaught, there's another bonus chest available. So you can get a lot. If you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there, keep the ADU up, there's a lot of guns to be had.
So those folks who are going to dive into the Legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts. I'm asking partially for myself, obviously, as well, and my fire team at home who might be listening.
Weapons team is really excited about attunement because it gives players some control over the drops that they get, but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like you will get your blast furnace dropping from the chest. You don't have to go and focus it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which we love that.
Actually, also too is you guys are also players of the game. Chris, were there any roles or weapons in particular where it was just your personal favorite that you had a lot of fun with in a playtest, or?
Probably of these weapons, my favorite is blast furnace.
Yeah.
With that classic scope and the role that I've got on mine, the role that I'm going to try and get in retail, is Headseeker Kill Clip, which is just really nasty in PvP.
Yeah.
That's I'll put another few hundred hours in Chris.
I'll be right there with you, honestly. The moment I can put Dead Man's Tail down again, then that will be the one that'll pick up immediately after. Kelsey, also too, is I know we were talking a little bit earlier. You've been deep into the Onslaught playtests as well, so that means in addition to the Brave Arsenal, you've got everything else at your beck and call. What are some cool builds you've been working on, honestly, to go ahead and really emphasize these new weapons?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Solar Warlock. I found is really fun in Onslaught because you can find a lane and just completely nuke it if you get your unlimited grenades going. You can just completely destroy. So I've been really partial to Luna's Howl. I tend to get a little feral, a little too excited. Sometimes having heal clip on it or something can give me that extra staying power I need to keep that ADU up.
It's part of, you got to be in the fight as much as you possibly can, and I say that partially as a Void Hunter who crutches on invisibility and runs away right away, so I understand and respect the hustle that I don't end up having. Also too, we got a question from chat from Lil Camino, I think is how you pronounce the name. My mistake if you get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those sweet ornaments will not.
Excellent. All right. So again, make sure you go ahead and dive on in once Into the Light is here, and make sure you get that I was there card, more or less. At least again, speaking for myself. So also too is I heard you guys mention briefly curated roles as well, because kind of like a part of the quests process, was it with Shaxx or our site rather?
With our site, yeah.
Thank you. That's right. So is this ones that you guys have set up where it's this is the go-to role? This is from our opinion, one of our favorites, or what was the process of kind of building those curated roles? rolls?
Yeah, we try to deliver something which is like an extremely good roll, not necessarily the single perfect roll, because we want you to have a reason to go in and get excited for those drops.
Yeah.
But like we would say, they're a 70-80% god roll.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, on the way, certainly.
Yeah.
And also, too, is remember, everyone, we're getting 100 more vault slots once the final shape comes out, so go ahead and just farm away. Now's the time.
Yep.
Sorry, Kelsey, were you going to say something more?
Yeah, we also just wanted to make sure people weren't completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting these limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each weapon with that curated tool.
Yeah. See, we're getting, again, I think, obviously, Tom is here in the heat of battle, so to speak, but the origin trait, we just got another question about, actually. So for the folks at home, it's indomitability, or?
Yes.
Thank you, all right. And that one, can you, again, walk through that origin trait for us one more time?
Yeah, so on Final Blows, it grants you grenade energy if you're running a light subclass.
Here we go, we got it on screen.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, which would be Arc Void or Solo, or melee energy if you're running a Darkness subclass, which would be Stasis or Strand.
Got it, okay. So I can go in, there's a stasis main, and just throw all the shurikens I possibly have. Yeah, there's a more technical thing for that. I'm sorry, I got it wrong out of the gate. All right, let's see here. And also, too, actually, you know, we talked kind of at the beginning about what it was like to sort of pare down this list of weapons down to 12. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? I can't imagine it was anywhere near as simple.
12 was a really small number when you're looking at that set of weapons. And if we'd gone by lists on the internet or even internally, it could easily have ended up being half hand cannons. We had to restrict ourselves to 2.
Fair.
There were a lot that could easily have made the card.
Oh.
Just couldn't fit them in.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, though, between Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl, like a very, very solid cast to go ahead and come out of the gate here with.
Oh, so you tell me we don't get the Black Army hand cannon? Wait, what is that thing called? Hold on a second. I still have mine. Kindle Orchid. I want Kindle Orchid back.
Oh yeah, they're really strong. We definitely wanted to get that spread of experience across the first.
Maybe they're just saying that, and it is a
also,
gun.
Too, even, you know, recalling all the way back to the Black Armory. You know, that's, I think, a set of weapons that so many of us think back to so fondly. You know, again, I think one of the goals here was to go ahead and retain that original feel. You know, you guys went ahead and added in a bunch of new perks. Can you tell us what that process was like in terms of making sure those perks matched up with that feel of the weapon?
Yeah, and in cases where we have multiple weapons in the same archetype shipping,
like,
so
why do we have a raid sniper and a raid grenade launcher?
And like made sure that the
like the Black Army had a sniper and stuff.
We also would look at the most popular roles that the weapons had originally and make sure that those still appear on the weapons. It meant having to redesign some perks, which would be too strong in today's sandbox. Yeah. That kind of thing. But yeah, and then introducing, like when you go and you look at a blast furnace in your vault or something, you're like, man, I wish I could roll X perk that came out after that, right? Like, and made sure we put a few of those in there as well.
Yeah, and there's also, I'm not sure if we've seen it on screen yet, but there's a new perk that'll be joining this pool as well, won't there?
Yeah, there is. There's in this build, it's called Last Stand. The shipping name is different. Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty sweet perk. If we could bring up the description of that when Tom is out of danger.
Which weapon is that?
There was one. It was on Blast Furnace, I think.
Oh, there we go. All right, well, we'll let him defend himself briefly. But we do have a couple questions from chat as well. So there's one that asks, Flo's Knuckles, I believe. There we go. Can we grind Onslaught multiple times for multiple
Weapon
drops?
Final Blows
I'm assuming this is just
bonus damage, melee and grenade. Final Blows grants a longer
getting weapons every run.
damage,
You'll also be getting
bonus
currency from chests that you can bring back and you can throw in that chest that I showed you, so you can just keep opening that chest. So yeah, just keep going.
Dive on it, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and chase that roll whenever you want. Also, too, one more quick question from chat. Mega125358, pardon me, Mega, asks, can you take the limited edition ornament off and put it on another copy of the weapon, or is it just on that one weapon?
So you can remove it, you can't put it on something else. It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, honestly, when it looks that good, you just gotta go ahead and stick with what you got, you know?
Yeah, if players have a favorite shader that they want to put on a weapon, they can remove it and put the shader on.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't shade the ornament.
You can go ahead and photo finish it up to your heart's content, obviously, that opportunity. Or super black, obviously, when the time arrives.
Super black.
All right, let's see. So Tom, what are you running right now?
I've just been hopping around with all the weapons here. Now I've got Blast Furnace and LC's rifle on. I know double primary isn't always meta, but
We're going to make it meta for the sake of
they're both
pretty
pretty solid weapons.
For the purposes of illustration.
No, here's that new perk that you both were talking about, Last Stand. On
Again, reminder, this
Blast
name will be
Furnace.
changing in the live version.
Yep.
Yeah, so weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus that can stack. So once you get this perk really rolling, it's very strong.
Yeah.
Sustain it.
Nice way to go ahead and clear out a bunch of red bars and then take down that yellow bar with ease if
Yep.
you go ahead and do everything correctly.
Yeah, it ties nicely into the origin trait as well, because the origin trait grants you energy for your abilities, and then you get bonus damage for getting ability final blows.
Yeah, really creates that loop, honestly. You just become the self-fulfilling prophecy of death at that point, which as a guardian is never a bad place to find yourself, frankly. Let's see here. Actually, also too is, I know we touched obviously on Chris's personal favorite being Blast Furnace. Kelsey, was there anything when you saw this land back on the list of the Brave Arsenal where you were like, finally, that one's back?
I was real excited about Luna's Hell.
I mean, that's just smart, honestly. That just makes sense. Tom, how about you? Is there anything in particular that obviously having taken such a big hand in helping design and sort of define all this stuff, what are your favorite weapons and roles that have come out of this?
I'm pretty basic, pretty easy. I really am excited about Recluse and Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like I just love that combo of being able to like get in close with an SMG and get the damage perk going and feeling really powerful. Then being able to switch to the grenade launcher and fire off some like little mini rockets and be able to play around with getting a little more airborne is just fun.
I can already imagine some Strand Hunter doing that above me and then immediately diving on top of me. And
I look forward to not accidentally blowing myself up, but it's a lot harder to do now. Like I remember with Mountaintop back in the day, I would just like shoot my feet on purpose, and like it was usually like an instant death, and so you can really get a lot more up close and personal with it.
Yeah, honestly, fit nicely into a lot of builds. I can already see a Tommy's Matchbook build with that. Just floating up there in the sky as a warlock, just murdering everyone. But that is to say, now there's an opportunity for more than just warlocks to be the floating weapon platforms out there in the game. I know, Kelsey, I'm sorry. we can share.
Yes.
We can share the abilities.
Particularly with the redesign of Manticore, there's a fun strategy. I don't know how super effective it is, but
Yeah.
like Mountaintop to launch yourself way up into the air.
Yeah.
Switch over to Manticore.
Yeah.
You can just hover around.
Just seems like a fever dream I had one time, honestly. Also, too, for the folks at home that may not have seen the Manticore kind of redesign, can you tell us a little bit, too, about how the intrinsic perk on that works now?
Yeah, so it's the base functionality of the way you use the weapon is fairly similar. We've tightened up its activation, so it will no longer activate if you're running downstairs and that kind of thing, which is pretty irritating. You can also just deactivate it by holding reload, and we'll do that quick special reload animation.
Oh, very nice.
Before you have to wait for it to expire or like switch off the weapon.
Yeah.
And then the catalyst, instead of just giving you damage resistance, now gives you a void overshield, which of course also gives you damage resistance, but can tie into void builds in a pretty synergistic way.
Very nice, honestly. Yeah, between that, Devour, the whole nine, obviously, there's going to be a lot of mobile weapon.
Survivability as well. It also decreases enemy accuracy against you, similar to the always on time Sparrow. So you've got a ton more like damage resistance, you've got an overshield, and enemies are missing you all the time. So it's combined with being able to launch yourself up into the air easily with Mountaintop. It's good fun.
That's also, too, actually, we got a question from chat that is, what's the difference between the new perk and Golden Tricorn? They sound pretty similar.
They do have kind of similar functionality. The big one is that the Golden Tricorn bonus is large, but doesn't stack once you get it. So the uptime on the new perk, whose name I can't remember.
Yep.
It's not in this book. We changed it. Is that the uptime is higher.
Excellent. Okay. Makes sense. Also, it's we got another chat as well. Chat question for me, I should say. Will the weapon ornaments for Luna's Howl and the Recluse be equipable for the new versions of those weapons?
Yes, they will.
Oh, awesome.
Both for the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. Players have already noticed that some of those are showing up later in the season in the bright dust storm.
For anyone out there that might go ahead and check through the databases, they might have noticed something potentially.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't say yes or no, but maybe. Firm maybe, certainly. Excellent. All right, so we're doing a pretty good job here. Tom, I got to say, it seems like you're making some pretty quick work of these lost sectors.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like he's played them before.
Maybe once or twice, potentially? You never know.
I did work on EDZ. It's been a while, though.
So Tom, actually also too is, as you've kind of been helping sort of build a lot of what Into the Light is going to be, what was the role that these weapons played? Like why is Shaxx choosing now to go ahead and re-equip us with this particular set of antiquities?
And part of the idea is that it's like this forbidden arsenal, right? The things that aren't, that we've kind of set aside, at least in the Crucible and other spaces, and now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, kind of set aside those conventions and really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like having players in this moment, with Into the Light, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if you want to catch up, and we're going to give you the weapons you need to be ready for the final shape. Like as long as you show up every week, you do the work, you're going to get like an incredible arsenal.
Particularly if you had been looking at some of the meta heavy grenade launchers, you can just walk in and get edge transit and be competitive already.
Yeah. And also too, I just got word from back at home that also Noah is apparently back at home after last week's stream in chat, cheering everyone on. So if everyone out there wants to give him a quick yeah, great in chat, now's the time. Excellent. Alrighty.
I really like auto-loading hoster on Mountaintop.
Oh yeah.
I've got
strong.
I've got a Fighting Lion Pardon Our Dust loadout that obviously hinges pretty heavily on auto-loading holster because I never want to stop shooting any grenades. I'm one of those. I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting some love for Noah in the chat. All right, love to see it. So also too, actually, over the course of developing kind of this new reward structure, was there anything about it where you're like, all right, this is the moment, like Onslaught is set up just right. Like, what was it like kind of building this structure for players to go ahead and just reinvest in, I guess?
Yeah. I think when we finally got the loot explosion going, there's this whole conversation and how we want it to feel when you open the chest and all this stuff, and all these people working together doing tech stuff to make sure it all worked great and everyone doing their part, and then finally getting in there and just running through and seeing everything just I guess all of your work just flying through the air in space was just really satisfying, and it really felt like it was coming together. I'm also really partial to when we start getting more icons and world art coming in. The space really started to feel tangible. When Shaxx finally had the guns in his hands in the and all the hollow Shaxxes for a while, they're just like this,
Did you guys have that vision of the hollow Shaxxes right away? You were like, this is how we want it to be, or was it just, what was the evolution of that space like when you guys were building it?
It was really fun working with world art and all this stuff. We had a bunch of people in the room, everyone who's dedicated to the space in some capacity, and we were just brainstorming together and laughing and coming up with all these fun ideas. So it was a huge collaborative process, and I think that's what's so magical about working in games, is you get to work with all these people who know all these things that you don't, and make something so cool and awesome.
Yeah. Actually, also too, we got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very
I knew
strong.
it would be.
But yeah, that original version was pretty wild.
Kind of in a league of its own, certainly. All right, Tom. So what's your strat right now? Is it basically just Old West gunslinger?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to play with all these guns either, so I'm just having fun over here. Like you can do your stream over there. I'm just gonna play with Midnight Coup here, which just feels so snappy and crispy. Like it just gotta point it in the right direction. It does a lot of the work.
Explosive rounds and kinetic tremors. Is that what it has? Or?
Yeah,
that's right.
Like you don't even really need to be that accurate, I guess, with this role. I can just kind of shoot around enemies.
Like a dance, like in the Old West.
Pretty sure this is still the highest aim assist of any legendary hand cannon in the game too.
Oh, is that so?
Okay, yeah.
That's What are some roles, by the way? So obviously, I think they each kind of have their different PvP and PvE flavors. But in the PvE trenches, are there any roles in particular with this new kind of set of perks that you were really caught off guard by or surprised by?
I mean, Firefly Kinetic Tremors is really, really strong. I think that was actually the role that Noah was running last week.
Yeah, he was making it look pretty good, thankfully.
Yeah, he's smart.
And Noah's all right at the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What else? I think the role that we've got here on Edge Transit, which is Cascade Point left column.
Yeah.
Being able to just like mag dump a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
The burst damage potential is wild.
And also, too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
There is always a chance. Those are the limited edition variants.
Yeah. And also, too, just a quick reminder is the quests from chat, or from our site, rather. Those ones have a higher chance of giving you one of the limited edition variants, or?
Those give you the curated ones, right? Yeah.
Yes, those are the curated ones. So pretty much that's a guarantee that you can get them. But anytime you get a Brave weapon, there's a chance that it will have the double perks and the awesome appearance on it. So that was actually a really fun thing. Once it kind of got that implemented, playing through the first time, you just naturally got one.
Yeah.
Like you'll be in a playtest time, I got one. I got a limited edition one. It's just a really fun feeling.
Even just that excitement of like when you're out there doing a dungeon farm or whatever the case is, and you're checking through all the guns that are sitting in your mailbox, and you're just like, oh, that initial set of rolls is pretty cool, and then you click in and you're like, wait, I can curate this to exactly what I want it to be. Like that moment's always pretty rewarding, honestly. So as a quick reminder to everyone in chat, so the Brave Arsenal will be able to drop from Onslaught at every stage, was it? Every 10 levels?
Yes, every set.
Excellent. Okay, set. Thank you very much. All right. See, we have the experts here, obviously. All right, Tom, what's next on the list? Which lost sector is going to wilt against your powers?
I think I'm gonna go, and I don't know what it's called, but it's on the top of the little rocks here, I think, right? That's where it's at? I'm trying to remember.
So you just go ahead and drop on down in.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Those fallen aren't going to be safe for long.
Yeah, can't die from full damage anymore.
It's true. Who could possibly do that? That's what we have the mountaintop to do, or to use for rather to get those kills on ourselves.
Oh, wrong way. This is the right way.
And actually also too, so a lot of questions in chat about the pools of perks that are going to be available, the weapons that are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting Bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them. So no mystery about the.
Okay, so we won't see.
Excellent. So there will be plenty of opportunities for all the build crafters out there to go ahead
see
and
all the weapons.
And kind of imagine their most exciting opportunities.
I'm
really.
guessing these aren't all the weapons. I don't know.
So also too, we've talked a lot about the Brave Arsenal. Let's go ahead and touch on the parade set again. What was kind of the inspiration behind that set and kind of bringing it forward now? This is kind of like a first full circle moment rather that I know Tom was mentioning, but why is Shaxx choosing now to equip us with this armor set?
I frankly wasn't as involved in those kind of conversations.
No, it's okay.
It was actually really
Here we go.
fun. Oh, it looked beautiful. Kind of waiting to see how we're gonna end up looking in the end, because we weren't really sure right away which armor set we were getting, and
Here we go.
So excited to see him in the chest.
Yeah, it was. I think honestly that first look at them in the key art. Obviously there was an initial glimpse, and it's weird because even as good as they looked, they were almost like everyone was just immediately captivated by Onslaught, immediately captivated by like, is that Blast Furnace in that Warlock's hands? Who knows?
If you're trying to bring back players' favorites, like there is so much nostalgia for that parade armor set.
Yeah.
Like bringing that back and updating it a little bit. Like I still run the parade armor sets on my couch from time to time. So
gotta have that classic look, obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously getting a chance to go ahead and chase down Super Black doesn't hurt either.
Looks very cool when you break it out of containment. Won't say much.
Excellent. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take one more quick run through. So is there anything else actually? So I know we've had a chance to walk through the Brave Arsenal. Tom, in particular on your side, we've gone ahead and kind of gone around the horn over here. Is there anything about this kind of new set of weapons and sort of the role they play and into the light that's got you excited about kind of the overall sandbox now that we're going to have available to us?
I'm I'm really excited about a lot of these weapons are they're not god rolls, but they're pretty close to it. Like if you show up every week and you do the weekly quest, you're going to get something that is really pretty powerful. And it's going to be like, for example, just looking at like the hammerhead here, it's got rampage and killing tally on it. That's just incredible.
Never stops
like for PvE, it just never stops firing, right? Like, and then you're also increasing damage every time you take an enemy out, which is cool. And like I could look at each one of these weapons too, and they like I think we might have glossed over it earlier, but the edge transit with cascade point, like you get a kill and then you can dump the whole mag in like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really powerful. And I think people are going to find a lot of great synergies between these weapons. Like I was even like Mountaintop, Recluse, and Cascade edge transit felt great. Like I could like use the SMG while my Mountaintop is reloading, and then like getting kills with those activates Cascade point, and I can swap over and dump the mag for edge transit. And like I can see similar things with Hammerhead and Forbearance, or with Elsie's rifle. And then like there's also just some classic weapons here that I really miss, that I'm really excited for Blast Furnace to be back, and I'm excited to see what it does to the meta with these being like relevant in the power game again, and being something that is accessible to players new and old.
Yeah. Someone spends a lot of time in the Crucible. I'm terrified already. Proctor, thank you very much for all the hard work on that. See you in yours,
I wish we weren't getting Secession back, or Secession, because that's raid weapons. Just play the raid. Forbearance, I wish we weren't getting that. Play the fucking raid. And Hung Jury? Why are we getting Hung Jury? We have so many other weapons they could have put in here.
Your jump ship was right in orbit, wasn't it? Right here. I hear it's lovely this time of year out there in the throne world.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's Noah and Kelsey have been keeping it warm for me in there.
That's true. All right, fair enough. Yeah, and again, we can use some sword logic later to expand it when the time comes. But for right now, we've gone ahead and done our job. Well, for starters, thank you all so much for taking time to join us to talk us through, obviously, the Hall of Champions, talk us through the Brave Arsenal, through everything with Into the Light. It's been a great show. So thank you guys for starters for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And also, too, as a quick reminder, again, to everyone, we'll be back next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place, to have another live stream about everything, or some more stuff coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light, including some exotic mission, some exotic mission content, and the craftable weapons. Chat, I saw you mentioning
Exotic mission content. What's coming back? What's going to be craftable?
See everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps. Next week will be your time, and there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you. Never know. But, and also too, the final thing we're going to go ahead and make sure you close with is, as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault.
I can't wait for that.
See here on camera, we put it to good use ourselves. We had some edge transit rolls. We knew that this was the time and place to go ahead and slot them in there. So we now have those, thankfully, in safekeeping for the arrival of the witness.
Ready.
Never hurts. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today. We'll see you back here next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
All right, not bad at all. Not bad at all. But I do have some complaints, but we're talking about that in another video. Peace.